Hello, today I'm going to be using Pan Pastels on my gel plate. I've been asked by a person from Australia to go through this using paper and things available to purchase in Australia. We don't have the luxury of being able to get things like Americans do. So here we go, and I'll just go through the materials I'm using. Okay, I have some permanent markers. I have Pan Pastels. I have my jelly plate. I have some stencils and masks. I have a Baron. I have some brayers, and I have acrylic paint. Now I use a number of different paints. This is Atelier Abstract, which is a favourite. This is Global Fine Art Acrylic, and those two have a medium viscosity. I use this Global White acrylic, and I also use this Atelier Free Flow acrylic, which I really like, and they're all readily available in Australia without having to pay all that enormous postage to get it here. The paper that I like to use is a very smooth paper that I get from Officeworks, and it's HP, the computer company, and it's called Colour Lock, and this one is about 170 GSM, and it's reasonably priced. You know, you'll get the A3 sheet. There'll be 250 in the pack, and it might be $35 or something. So well worth it because it's really smooth. I use it a lot. Okay, the other thing that I have here, this is just some grass. I often use very prosaic materials that I've collected or things like that. So let's get started. Now, the gel plate that I'm using is the large one. And you can see how I've marked out my printing station here so that I can use any plate and register my paper. So I'll put the marker on first. Now the markers are Art Line, permanent marker, Sharpie, Ergo Line, which is an Art Line one. This is a Bic Market, and Art Line 70. Now I think this Art Line 70 is the darkest. I'm not quite sure, so I'll just show you what I'm doing with that. I'll just make some lines. I'm not doing anything special with it. I just wanted to show you how to use the Pan Pastels. Right, so maybe I'll just put some of these on here too. Now, remembering that the first thing you put on the plate is going to be on the top of the print. So always remember that. So these are going to be on the top layer. Right, that's that. And here's the Sharpie. What if I do some, you can see the Sharpie's not as strong. Now, there's a couple of things you can do with a Pan Pastel. I could start by putting some colour in here. Now, these are just makeup sponges. Now, the pigment is very strong. And remember that this is going to be on the uppermost layer. The Pan Pastels that I bought initially were in a pack, You can see them here. There's two types of green, a yellow green and a darker green, red, blue and purple. It's not a palette that I prefer, so I've ordered some different colours. I mean, you can mix them too. There's no reason why you can't mix them together. Okay, so you can put them directly onto the plate, and you'll see when I print it how strong these colours are. Incredibly strong. So you can dab it on like this, or you can actually drag it on as well. Right. So what I'll do is I'll put some through a stencil. So when you stencil, you need to dab it because it needs to get through there somehow. So up and down. I think it's called pouncing actually. Right, so can you see that when I lift this up? You get a very clear impression. So I'll do some of this, some dots, why not? So this will be a real mishmash of everything so that you can see how it works. It's just an experiment, so here we go. So you can see how you can get a lot of detail with these pastels. Rightio. Okay, so put that away. Now this is a pastel. This is a little stencil that I really like. I've had it for so long, and it's one of my favourites. Now you'll see the purple is just very, very vibrant. Watch this. There's nothing wrong with that though. I mean, if you like vibrant colours, well, that's great. Right, so I'll put something that's really contrasty with that, which is that yellow green. Right, put this somewhere else, I suppose, through another stencil. What about this one? And you can also overlay it over another colour too. So you don't have to just stick with the colour by itself. Can you do that? Can you see that? So what if we put some, what about a strong colour over this blue, and you'll see it better. Okay, so over here maybe. Right. So if I just lift this up, see how I've got 1, 2 there, so we need something that's a little bit different just here. Compositionally it works better. Alright, lift that up. Okay, now they were all stencils. This and this is a mask. Right, so meaning that it blocks out. So the way you can use these is to put them down, and then, what colour will I use? Maybe this dark green, because I haven't used that. So you can go over there to get a negative shape. Can you see how that's working? Right. And you could also go over here, over this red bit. It's good fun. And of course you can make it into your own artwork by adding your own mark making, because that's what will set your work apart from everybody else's, because of the marks that you make that are unique to you, things that go from your brain through your hands and onto the surface. Right, so that's probably enough of that, and another little bit of that green somewhere else. Okay, right, so I think that might do. Looking at it, I think perhaps it needs, yeah, something just there. Might just do, it'll do. All right, so now we come to the part where we put the paint over the top of it. Now I'll use white only because you can see the colours better, but this layer needs to be thin. If you make it thick, it doesn't work, because you've got to leave it a little while to dry so you can lift the whole thing off. Right, so here we go. And most of the jelly printers call this Plan B. Right, so can you see how you can see the image through the paint layer? That's really important for this part of the process. Right, now what I'm going to do is, now I'm going to put this over the top of it. I love this bit of grass. Don't ask me why, I just do. Right, so I'm going to put that over the top. And put this paper on. And really press it down. Now what's going to happen is, where that grass is going to resist. You'll see a clear line there, and you'll see the white of the paper. Now I just want to show you that you can't lift it up straight away, because it just doesn't lift everything off immediately. Can you see that? It's lifting some of it off, but if you leave it a little bit longer, it will lift a whole lot more off. So what you're trying to do is dry that layer on the paper while it's on the plate, so that you get a good impression and it lifts most of that off. Now if you leave your paper too long, you take the chance that it will stick. Now this is already quite strong, so here we go. It is really magical. Right, look at that. Wow, look at those colours. Okay, now there's still an opportunity to take a ghost print as well, because the pastel stays for a long time. So I'll put this aside, take off the grass this time, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put another colour over the top this time. What about this bronze? Yeah, why not? Just try anything really. This is a wonderful colour that I use a lot, from Sennelier Abstract. Okay, so now of course this layer needs to be dry before you do this, because otherwise you'll just lift all the paint off. And when you do this, you need to very lightly with your brayer. Lightly, not scrubbing it It needs to be very light so that you can see the image through, like last time. Right, so you can see the image there. Just make sure you cover the whole thing. And again, put the paper down. And often these are the more beautiful of the prints. Right, so you can use a Baron if you want to press it down a bit more. Especially with the ghost print, that can take a little bit more pressure. Right, let's see what happens. Yes, so it's taking off most of what's left on the plate. Okay, so that's that one. And this is the first one. So you can see that the colour, and it's because of the bronze that I've used too as the background colour. But you can see that there's still pastel left there. So I wonder if we can get that off with a layer of white. Let's just see. I'd say that it will be very light if it does come off. And if you have finished with your Pan Pastels on your gel press, do clean it off at the end of the session with some baby oil, because it will stain otherwise. And if you don't mind staining, that's okay, but if you don't like it, clean it off with some baby oil. And I'll do that in a minute just to show you how you do that. Right, so you can still see that Pan Pastel through there. Now remember, this is the third pull. Right, so let's put this on. Right. And as I said, I really love this paper, readily available. It's for printers, obviously, and it's for both inkjet and laser printers. But it's so smooth, it picks up so much detail, it's amazing. All right, here we go. So you can see there's still colour coming off. And now it's very, very subtle. So you could use that, dry it, and use that to overprint. Now to clean it off, just need a bit of baby oil to get your plate back. A cloth of some sorts, a baby wipe's usually better, and go in a circular motion with it. It'll clean it off much faster than if you're scrubbing up and down like that. Okay. Right. And there we are, ready to start again. All right, so, and there's the first print. All right. I'll post this today, and I hope you enjoy it. And if you have any questions, just ask me and I'm happy to answer them for you.